Hello and welcome one and all to the press conference following the 2-2 draw between Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen. We've got Xabi Alonso and Thomas Tuchel with us. And so we'll get a statement from Xabi Alonso first. Good evening. I think we produced a very intense performance. There were lots of chances for both sides, which is normal when we come to a place like the Allianz Arena. Especially the first 15 minutes. We weren't here. We were still in our hotel. But after 15 minutes, I saw my team again, and I was proud that we were able to play the way we did here. And that's why I feel like the draw is a fair result. Bayern could have won, but we also could have won. It was a great game. We have to keep going. It's a process. The fact is, the players up until now have been very happy, and we're happy with our performances, so we'll see what happens. So I see it the same way, slightly in reverse. I was very happy with the first 15-20 minutes. I think, don't know if we realized something, that we can really push on from here and that we can win the ball so well. We were using the spaces well. And then after 20 minutes, Leverkusen were the better team for 20 minutes. And then for the last 15 minutes of the first half, we had some huge chances to take the lead again. And definitely we're playing at a high level. And then in the second half, Xabi Alonso's analysis is fair. It's a deserved result. Fact is, when you score a late goal to put you ahead, you want to push on and take all 3 points instead of letting the draw slip through our fingers. But we open the door again, and Leverkusen are a good side that have a clear identity, a good head coach, a good squad, and we had some problems, and we had to find our rhythm again after they came back in a positive phase of play. And after all of the international break travels, I think it's fair to say that we just need to be better, and we can be better, and we need to be more stable, and we're going to keep pushing ourselves too. So a question to Thomas Tuchel. Even though it's early in the season, have Leverkusen proven that they're ready to fight for the title? I don't think I can give you a clever answer here. It's a marathon. Leverkusen have a good squad and have proven that again here today. We're going to go step for step, and Leverkusen will get what they deserve and we'll get what we deserve. But it doesn't really make any sense for me to talk about Leverkusen's title chances and to philosophize about them, because I don't know them and I don't trust myself to make those statements. So 2 questions to Joshua Kimmich. Didn't seem to be too happy when he came off. Could you explain what happened in the context of the last few weeks when he was picked up a knock? As for Leroy Sané, so Joshua had a inflamed tendon, and as a result was taking a lot of strain due to the corner kicks he was taking, and we didn't want to take too much of a risk with him, especially given the fact that when he came back from the national team he couldn't play at all. But he's made some big steps forward in the last couple of days. And so yesterday it did look as though he could play, and we got the confirmation of that today. But ultimately we would let him test it, and then the warm-up went well, and so we said he'd try the first half, and the medical advice was that he could only play 60, and that's why we brought him off in the 60th minute. So the difference between the first 20 minutes and the second 20 minutes, how can you explain that? And can you talk about the scene that led to the equalizer being scored? And can you talk about the strengths in your team right now and maybe the weaknesses as well? So once again, we found it hard to maintain our level of performance. We were making things a little too complicated. The attacks were always getting shorter and they were getting a bit more chaotic, and then the game and the pitch was getting bigger. And then we became a bit too passive, and Leverkusen, we let them have possession, and for those 20 minutes where they were really strong, we definitely got two very soft decisions that went against us, and two decisions that ultimately, unfortunately for us, are incredibly decisive. I get the feeling that when the goal was conceded, things went back into our rhythm, but for a while there was nothing that was possible, and then after the 60th minute it really kicked on again, and all of a sudden we were a lot more sharp and we were a lot more clinical, and there were a lot more goal-scoring chances. And so those are the places I'm looking at and thinking that we really need to improve, because in the first half we had a tough time against Gladbach. Today against Leverkusen it's still a bit too high up and down for my liking. In the good phases of your team, it was noticeable that Leverkusen had a lot of space in midfield and were able to combine through your team. Is this the type of game where you were specifically looking for a defensive midfielder, and is that why you brought Matthijs de Ligt on in defensive midfield? Konrad Laimer ran a lot today and was absolutely knackered by the end of the game, and was definitely in the red zone come the end of the game, and so we were looking for some more stability, and the strength in the challenges that Matthijs de Ligt brings to the pitch is something that we wanted to call upon. It only works in combination with our style of play, because Leverkusen want to press high up the pitch. But the fact is, you've got to be brave at the back, you've got to maintain space, and you've got to push through and then have real self-confidence. And when you don't do that, then you ultimately run out of space on the pitch. And so during the phases where things are difficult for us, we have to stay a little more compact. It's not something that is preoccupying us too much, but we definitely need to work on solving this problem as a team. The first 15 minutes of the first half we did it well, in the last 5 minutes of the first half we did it well, but we need to be doing it for a full match.
Sven Forster, 20 Minuten aus der Schweiz. Herr Alonso, wie haben Sie Granit Xhaka heute erlebt?
Xabi Alonso, how did you rate Granit Xhaka's performance?
Good.
Good. For us, Granit is a very important player. He communicates a lot with his teammates and with the back line, and has a great connection with Florian Wirtz as well. And so I'm very happy that he's with us. And from the first day, he had a big impact on the squad and a big influence on the squad. He's an incredible midfielder, and when he plays, the team tend to play better.
Patrick Scherer vom Kölner Stadtanzeiger. Herr Alonso, wie wichtig war es, dass Ihre Mannschaft nach diesem 2:1, was sehr
how important was it that your team came back after conceding a goal so late on to make it 2-1? It was a big opportunity for us to show off our mentality and build on our mentality, and it's not easy to come back against Bayern, but in the end we had a few chances. And we definitely got into those positions really well, and that's why we ended up getting the penalty, and we had to mix things up a little bit and change things. That's why we got a little bit wider, but then we tried playing through the middle as well. And we were trying to vary things up to keep Bayern guessing. But this is the way to show that you have a strong mentality, that in the bad moments here at the Allianz Arena that you stayed together. After 15 minutes, we were better. Our performance was better. And till the end, I was proud of my team and proud of the players.
nächste Spiel jetzt.
And now the next game
Dann
is
vielen
up.
Dank, guten Nachhauseweg allen, natürlich auch unseren Gästen. Dankeschön.
Thank you for joining us.